Hey guys, it's Joe5 here. Today I will be debunking the Mario's mental theory. Now before I get started, I want to give special thanks to Flies from Metal Blade 5. Check out their videos, it will be in the description. But I'm not really a fan of game theory. He has had some good videos, I guess, I will admit. Yeah, check out Flies there and Metal Blade 5 videos in the description. Yeah, make sure to check out the other videos I put there. You can watch them before if you want. So, anyway, let's get started. So, first he brings up Donkey Kong, where, he says a giant ape steals Mario's girlfriend and the heroic Italian must get her back. And he said in theory it sounds good, but did you ever stop to consider why Donkey Kong takes Polly in the first place? And then he assumes you don't. And then he said assuming's bad, but, yeah, then he said there was Donkey Kong Circus, which was the prequel to the original Donkey Kong, where Jumpman has a side business. Yeah, that's Jumpman, not Mario. They're different people. Jumpman's from a different generation and he's dead. But, yeah, Jumpman's running a side business, and the star attraction is Donkey Kong. He has to dodge fireballs and juggle pineapples. Now that would be animal abuse, unless Donkey Kong was up to it, which that seems to be the case, simply because he could have attacked Jumpman if he didn't want to do it. And second of all, he could have just stopped doing it or not have done it at all. It really seems like it was his choice. Next, he brings up Donkey Kong Jr., which once again is Jumpman, not Mario. But then he says, like, Mario kidnaps Donkey Kong, or rather Jumpman, but Jumpman takes Donkey Kong, and the only reason he took Donkey Kong is so he could return him to the wild, and he would stop taking Pauline. And, he said Mario was forcing a baby ape to cheat death in order to save his dad. Well, Flies or Metal Blade 5 both said, he's not forcing him to do it. Baby Donkey Kong Jr. just decided to save Donkey Kong. And that was once again Jumpman. Well, next he brings up Wigglers, who he assumes to be innocent. But, no. They're part of Bowser's army. And, in Super Mario Sunshine, as the Metal Blade 5 said, the Wiggler was standing on the bile dome, preventing sunlight from getting to the egg, so Mario had to kill the Wiggler in order to save an unborn bird. And he could be doing it out of defense because he could kill him. And then Game Theory said, with that perspective, Mario's no better than a child burning ants with a magnifying glass. And then Flies said, in that regard, that'd make Mario no worse than a kid burning ants with a magnifying glass. Well, actually, I was supposed to talk about Cheeps first, but oh well. Anyway, he says Cheeps are innocent. Once again, they're not part of Bowser's army. There are Cheeps that will go after you for just swimming by. And also, Mario could be doing it out of defense. Once again. So then he accuses Mario of punching Yoshi, which is wrong because he's not punching Yoshi. In fact, he is pointing. Okay, it's hard to tell when it's 16-bit, but you can obviously see that in the newer games. So that part of the theory was obviously flawed. Next he says that Mario will drop a Yoshi into a pit without hesitation. Well, that is flawed, and I will tell you why. Flies said when that pit crops up, their fates are pretty determined. He said Mario knows there's no hope left for the Yoshi, so he might as well jump off so they don't both die. And also, when Yoshi gets lost, he usually goes back into his egg. You can see that in Super Mario Galaxy 2. And also, as the Metal Blade 5 said, who presses the button to make Mario jump off? The player. Oh yeah, and also that thing about the punch. After Mario does that, the Yoshi still has that big smile on his face, so he's obviously not physically harming him, and it's pointing. But whatever it is, it's not bad, because the Yoshi still has the smile on his face, so he's obviously not harming him. So next he brings up probably the dumbest part about this whole theory, and that's saying what. But basically he says how Mario mistreats Luigi. Now, that's not true, because, well, first of all, he's a nice brother, and he thinks Mario goes on adventures without him just to crush his dreams. Well, problems. As the Fossilizer said, the adventure could seem dangerous and Mario doesn't want anything bad happening to Luigi. And also, he said it seems like it could take a long time, so he wants Luigi on standby if something else happens somewhere else. And also, Luigi does go on adventures with Mario. So he obviously goes on some. And as the Fossilizer and Metal Blade 5 both said, this whole thing that Mario's a bad brother can be knocked down by the ending of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Link to that video will be in the description. Now on to the new Super Mario Bros. Wii ending, where Luigi offers Mario and Peach a ride. Now, this is very flawed because, firstly, they're obviously giving him attention, they're waving at him. Luigi gives him a ride, they go in, okay, they just stand there, not going off, and then Luigi accidentally walks into the door and shuts himself. So, it's actually Luigi who accidentally shut himself, and then it flew off. So obviously they thought he was just letting them ride in there, and they figured that he'd probably go with the Toads. And that whole Mario Power Tennis thing where Mario steps on Luigi's shoe, well, first of all, that's just a sibling thing. That's not evil. Heck, Mario was even congratulating him, as the Fossilizer said. So yeah, that whole thing is out of the way now. Now, on to part 2. So, he claims Mario, dating more than one woman, which, no. Okay? Listen, first of all, sorry about that. First of all, the whole Pauline thing where she says, oh, Mario, would only show that Pauline has feelings for Mario, but Mario doesn't feel the same way, as the Metal Blade 5 said. That was Jumpman with Pauline. Not in the game, I mean in the old ones. And also he said there's no sign of Peach, and the Fossilizer said, she is a princess, so she could just be busy. And another reason why this whole thing is flawed is because he said there's no Peach toy, which is very ironic because there's not only a Peach toy, but it shows it in Game Theory's own footage. In fact, he advertised for the Peach toy, but not the Pauline toy. Okay, so if he's gonna use any excuse like that, then he'd be wrong. So next he brings up, so now he accuses Mario of dating Daisy, just because of that one scene in Super Mario Land, okay? He says, oh, Daisy, Daisy. Now, why that is flawed, well, first of all, as the Fossilizer stated, Mario, well, he said, Sarassaland is incredibly weird, so Mario would like to see another human. And another thing, there's no punctuation whatsoever after the first time he says Daisy. But there is punctuation after he says oh, so it'd be more like oh, Daisy, Daisy. So, yeah, that's pretty flawed. So he claims Mario of forcing Luigi to date Daisy. Well, as Metal Blade 5 said, that's not true. He said Luigi and Daisy seem pretty happy together. If he's not forcing him to date Daisy, he just decides to. Next, he accuses Mario of being a murderer, which I will admit was actually decent evidence, but it was still flawed. You see, the Fossilizer said the old manual said they were turned into bricks, so how do you know one brick doesn't equal one toad? In which case, Mario's doing them a favor. He's actually like ungluing them so they're not stuck together when the magic is undone. See, it breaks into 4 pieces, and one piece is probably one toad. And both Metal Blade 5 and the Fawflighter said, did it ever occur to you that Mario might not be aware of the curse? And also, if Mario was intentionally killing toads, he would rip out the field horsehair plants, which, if you're wondering what that is, that's the grass you see in the game. He'd be ripping that out if he was intentionally killing. And he might not even be killing toads at all. Oh yeah, and also, he complains that you get points for it. Well, as the Metal Blade 5 said, since you might be ungluing them when the magic gets undone, would explain why you get points. Which is a very good point on Metal Blade 5's part. Now he thinks that in every single game the bricks are toads, while, as the Fawflighter said, that only applies to the original Super Mario games. So it can't really be used as evidence in the later games. It's just not fair to use. So next he refers Mario crushing Goombas, which are evil, by the way. He refers them to crushing Goombas to an 18th century form of execution in Southeast Asia. Basically, he says how elephants would crush every bone and limb, let the victims suffer as long as possible until releasing its full weight on its head and chest. Well, that's very invalid, because Mario kills Goombas instantly, so it's nothing like that. And also, they are evil. You must remember that, especially game theory. And the whole thing about soldiers oftentimes suffering from PTSD, as the Metal Blade 5 said, that only happens because they're killing another human being. They're not Mario. Goombas aren't the same creature as Mario, so it's normal that you wouldn't get PTSD. Okay, so now, basically, the theory is pretty much over now, but he called Mario arrogant. Now, even if this theory was right, which it is not at all whatsoever, but if it was, that still wouldn't make Mario arrogant. Serious. Somebody with antisocial personality disorder isn't arrogant. And Mario does not have antisocial personality disorder. So there you go. I disproved the, Mario's mental theory. I'm not the first one. There have been lots of people who have done it, and I'm glad to see that. I will be disproving more theories. The next one I will disprove will be the problems with Princess Peach. Oh yeah, and you guys could give me tips on how to make me disproving the problems with Princess Peach a better video. But anyway, God bless good gaming and have a good day.